What is up, gents? DirtBag Gaming here, the channel for casual raiders. We're doing a HUSK guide. It only took me 2.5 years to level this guy up. He's an old school champ. He's basically an old school champ that almost nobody really used until Hydra came out. Notice that he has an AoE, just hit hard as hell against champions max HP, and he hits really freaking hard for Hydra. So we finally leveled him up. We're going to do a how-to gear guide for him starting off, and then we'll do a full guide with him in the Hydra boss, because that's probably where you're mostly going to be using them for. And then we're going to go over the skills, always, and as well as what gear sets you're going to be looking for him, specifically gearing it towards Hydra, but also I'm going to tell you what's going to be good for dungeons, Doom Tower, all that stuff. Because once you gear him up for Hydra, he's going to be geared up that you can use him basically everywhere. If you gear somebody specifically for end game content and you throw him in like normal content, he's going to be good to go. So let's go over HUSK. He's an HP type champion. He has a base stat of almost 21,000 HP. So that is awesome. It's pretty slow, 98 speed. Not the fastest dude in the world, obviously. But we have skills. A1 has a chance to provoke. So in Hydra, they actually let us put a provoke on one of the heads. So he has a 20, 30, 40% chance to provoke 2 times on his A1. So not bad. It only provokes for 1 turn, but again, it's his A1, so he's going to be doing that more often. So you can kind of like skip his A3 and just use his A1, hitting that one head if you need to. But this is what you're going to be using him mainly for. So it's a 4-turn cooldown, attacks all enemies, has a 35% chance of placing a stun. Don't care about Hydra. But damage inflicted is proportional to enemy max HP. So the higher the heads are, or the higher the difficulty is, like normal, hard, brutal, and then nightmare, the more HP they have. Nightmare is like ridiculously high HP. So when you bring an enemy max HP champion in there, first they have to be super tanky because they hit hard, but they also hit hard back a lot. So his one hit could do 2 million damage across the board, if not more. It is a very hard hitting ability. So you kind of want to gear him towards Royal Guard. It's kind of the same thing, except he's an HP champion, so his HP stacks a lot more because he starts with a lot more HP. Let's just give you an example. So he starts with almost 21k HP, and our Royal Guard starts with 15,000 HP, and all of the percentage HP stacks are based off of base HP. So you take 10% times 15,000, not going to be as much as 10% times 21,000. That's kind of how they base it off of. So that is sad. Does anybody notice that Royal Guard's speed is only 93? He looks like a literally fast-ass guard protecting the high elves who are supposed to be fast. Like he probably moving that armor pretty quickly. Why is he so slow? Tell me if Vergoth is faster than him. No, okay. I was going to say. So let's go back to HUSK. Now, we're going to build ours hitting hard, just like we do for Royal Guard. We're going to try and reduce his cooldown as much as possible, and we're going to have him as much HP as we possibly can. Now, a lot of this is gear intensive, so you have to have the right gear, but also you can build him a bunch of different ways, and he still hits really hard. If you guys are newer, he's going to be great for probably hard Hydra. First Hydra, he's not going to do as much damage because they don't have nearly as much HP and they die really quick. So anybody can really do normal Hydra and 1-key it with a lot of their champions. But the hard, you can 1-key it at 20 million, or if you get 2-key at 10 million each, and then go and do hard for 1-key, or normal for 1-key. But we're getting up to brutal. My clan is on brutal right now, so we're really trying to like see what our teams are going to be for brutal. We're trying to 1-key, if not 2-key brutal, and then do 1-key for hard. But let's go over it. So we're going to start top down like we always do. He's an HP type champion, so obviously the first 3 things are pretty old, so you're probably not going to have a ton of HP, attack, and defense. You're really only going to keep the best of the best. So like, look at the shield. Crit rate, HP, crit damage. This one has crit rate, HP, speed. Like, we're only keeping the best of the best in these slots. Everything else is just getting rid of. This one has HP, defense, HP, crit rate, speed, so that's probably why we kept this, just because of the speed roll. Yeah, so you can throw an HP thing on there. There's better ones than this. Don't really need defense. Speed is great for a 2-piece set if you need to get his speed higher. Our speed is only 204, 202, because we have an HP boost, which I'll go over. Crit rate is great. This 2-piece set, extra 12% crit rate is huge. You're trying to get as close to possible as 100% crit rate. you're just going to do a lot more damage. So make sure you get to, if not 100% crit rate. We need 4 more crit rates. I might have to re-gear him. But then we got crit damage. This is great for a 2-piece set. If you hit that 100% crit rate already, you can throw a 2-piece crit damage set on that, because enemy max HP is mainly crit damage. So if you're doing like 300 crit damage for this, like, you're going to be hitting really freaking hard. Now for Hydra, I'm trying to last longer, so I'm trying to like go as long as I possibly can to do more turns. In Spider, you're just putting your royal guard with 400 crit damage. Like, you just want him to one-shot the spider and then you're good to go. So this build, you're going more tanky, but also hitting hard at the same time. Like, I want him to survive and he's going to hit hard. Yes, you can do, you know, 50k HP or 40k HP and just do 300 crit damage, but again, you're going to die pretty quickly. So that's my warning. This, you don't need accuracy unless you're building him more for his A2 in dungeons. Now, he does have a pretty cool stun on his A2, so 35% chance to stun, and in a stun set that also stacks. So it's like he's going to stun the entire wave pretty easily. I wonder what Syle's chance to stun. Syle hits twice, I think, on her A2. 20, 30, yeah, 35% chance to stun on her A2 on a 3-turn cooldown. He's on a 4-turn cooldown. 35, 45, 50, 60% chance of placing it. Yeah, he's really, guys, he's overlooked. He's really cool with a stun if you're having trouble in like Doom Tower waves or stuff like that. All right, so again, don't need this unless you're bringing him for the stun. Then you need accuracy. Resistance, great, not really needed. Heal is great if you're bringing him and you want to be like super tanky. Honestly, I would just skip over this one because there's better stuff out there. Like, there's better gear than just going with the lifesteal set. Damage increased by HP. I haven't tried this one on him. I know it's good on HP champions because they're already gonna have a shit ton of HP. But I wouldn't really look at this as the first pick. Skip this one. Skip this one. This is great for provoke champions. He's not a provoke, or he is a provoke champion, but it's only a small chance on the A1. This one, not bad. It's just for specific type champions you want to like test stuff out, like mainly the headhunter guy from Orc. This is cool. So he's an HP type champion if you want to make him super tanky. This could be good because he's just going to heal by 15% of HP. This one, like, mostly HP champions, you should get up close to around 90 to 100k HP. Again, this one, he just needs a lot of stuff. He needs crit rate, crit damage, speed, and HP. So it's kind of hard just to build 100k HP. But this isn't a bad set. Immunity, I would skip over. Shield set, I usually suggest shield sets for champions that are around 22 to 23k HP. Like that, those are the best champions to start shield sets were. But if you guys are newer and you're kind of like getting to the game, you have a really good shield set, throw it on HUSK. He's going to help out you with the waves because his first 3 turns, you're going to have a lot of HP on this champion. They're going to start with a pretty good shield. So he's a good champion to throw a shield set on if you're newer. This is good to test out for Hydra. I didn't want to do this because I've literally all my relentless sets on my support champions and damage dealers and stuff like that. So he could be good with a relentless set just to kind of proc his A2 as much as possible. Like anytime he reset or goes an extra turn, this cooldown now goes down 1 more. So I'm going to try out this set first, the reflex set, which we'll get into, before I go into relentless set. I haven't tested the reflex set, but I hear it's pretty freaking good. Savage, great if you're going to do as much damage you possibly can. It's almost like having the Royal Guard, like this guy, in a Savage set. He'll do just as much damage as a Royal Guard in a Savage set. But again, I'm building him mainly tanky and surviving a lot longer than my Royal Guard here that just has 19 HP, no speed, as much, like, it's not built like this, right? I'm building him to be tanky and hitting hard at the same time. Skip this set. So 18% chance of placing a stun, and you're going to bring the skill for him if you're going to use him strictly for PvE and being a stunner, is this right here. So it increases the chance of placing a stun, sleep, freeze, fear, true fear, and provoke debuff on skills and or artifacts by 5%. So that 18% stun set now goes to 23% chance to stun on his A2. So hits everybody. He has a 23% chance to stun with that, and he has a 35, 45, 55, 65% chance to stun on his actual skill. So almost always you're just going to stun everybody on the waves. So he's going to be a really, really good stunner. And on his A1, you're going to have an extra 2 times. So that's 20, 30, 45% chance to place a stun or a provoke on whoever you want to provoke. So he is a very good CC type champion, guys. Very, very good. What's his aura? Arena battles. All right, so not really good in arena. So let's go into, that's the sunset. So if you're going to go sunset and you're doing it specifically for the waves, make sure you do bulwark, the one at the bottom of the defensive tree. Poison set's not bad if you want to get more damage on Hydra, because every time he attacks with his A3, he's going to do poison. There's better champions for poison. Usually A1 AoEs are great for poison sets. Stalwart is great if you just want him to be super tanky, because Hydra, bosses, like all that stuff, most of their attacks are AoE. So this reduces AoE by 30%, which is pretty cool. So let's go into this one. So 40% chance to reduce a random skill cooldown. Now, if you're only doing his A1 and A2, the only random skill is the A2. So he's a 40% chance every time he goes to do his A2. So basically, let's say he runs up, or let's say he does the A2 off, right? He starts off with his A2. So 4 turn, now is a 4 turn cooldown, right? Runs up, or let's just say it resets. So he resets, then he gets to do again. Resets, he gets to do again. But if it doesn't reset, he does his A1, and then what if it resets off the A1? So that's what I have to try out with this. A lot of people have been running it with this set. I don't have a ton of great gear with this. Like, look at my gear. I have 5-star crit damage with a little bit of crit rate, no HP. We have crit rate, which is pretty good. Accuracy, I don't need him for him. Speed, but no HP. This one, speed, shitty defense, a little bit of crit rate, and this one, crit rate, speed, and no HP. So, like, this is a very bad set for him. Like, stats for him. I don't have better gear. I need to farm this reflect set, so remind me. But guys, if you have or are farming this set, this is going to be a very good set for him. And you want to, I went for more crit rate than trying to build him with more HP. So I want him to crit as much as possible on his A2 and just do as much damage. So that's what we get up to with the reflex set. I'm going to test it out. I'm going to let you guys know in Discord. But we're going to test them out. I think I need one more mastery. I really want to get this mastery. And then I want to go down to this mastery and this mastery. Just to counterattack, to try and, do resets and all that shit. So you go. So that is reflex set. I would say this would be number 1 if it works like the way it's supposed to work. This would be the number 1 set. This and relentless. So those two are kind of like tied. Don't need attack rating, so I would skip over this. This set is gonna be great for him. So if you make him super tanky and you just want him to do his max AoE and do that, you can build crit rate and crit damage with a immortal set. Like, if you have the gear, which you should, because you have a lot of these pieces, because you get it every single day, this is a very good set. You get to heal as well as get a lot of HP, which is what his damage build off. Like, it's good. And his damage isn't built off of HP, it's just enemy max HP. So having a 100k HP is not based off of that, just based off the enemy max HP. So crit rate and crit damage is going to be a must. Skip. This isn't bad if you just need more crit rate. I would skip over this one. Skip over this unless you really need speed. Skip over this. Actually, no. This could be good. So it's got a lot of crit damage, a lot of speed, and a chance to proc and killable. It's like, if you want to throw it on them, you can. It's just not the number 1. This set's pretty cool. So a chance to deflect debuffs on an enemy attacker. So this isn't a bad set to throw on Husk. If you have really good pieces, it's a harder set to get. This isn't a bad set. It's just you don't need any defense. Defense is really just for survive a little bit longer. You need a little bit of HP and a little bit of defense. I would kind of skip this set unless you need a 2-piece set that you have really good gear on this. You can farm this set by the forge. And then this set, if you're going to do it in the dungeons. So if you're doing them strictly for his A2, this is going to be the set that you're going to be using for speed and accuracy. Skip, skip, skip. This is cool, but not the best. And this is going to be a cool set to try out. So absorbs 10% HP damage from all champions and heals by 10% every turn. So he's an HP type champion. He's going to have a ton of HP. So if you want to build him more of a tanky type Husk, you can use this set and still build them with that AoE CC. So if you want to do this for waves, definitely use this set right here. Resistance not needed. Crit. This is like the Savage set. You just get a little bit more crit rate. So I started farming this a lot recently because I have an auto run on Faye, if you haven't checked out that video. And then these two are kind of newer, not too much, mainly PvP for those sets. So let's go over back with HUSK. HUSK, we're going to try out the Reflex as number 1. Relentless as number 2. 3 is going to be the Immortal set. 4 is going to be the Star Wars set. For PvE waves, it's going to be the Stun set. I'm going to put him in Stun set almost all the time. Relentless set could be good as well in waves, just for him to go more times. But I think that Stun set, having a really high chance to get that stun off, is going to be awesome with our HUSK. Shield, if you're going to use him as a newer champion, this is a good set. And yeah, and speed if you need the 2-piece. So that is our HUSK, guys. What would you think about it? Did this help you? It's only 1,500 reviews on him, but he's going to be clutch with your Hydra teams. Start building one now if you don't have one. I have 2 ones on the way. But he's going to be awesome. So let me know in the comments who you guys want to see next. This is a how-to gear guide. I will do a full guide on him very soon. If you guys haven't subscribed, there's a ton of videos to go check out. There's so many, like I think over 300 now. It's nuts. But if you guys haven't joined the Discord, DirtBag Nation, we are recruiting 2 for our main clan. So we always have a list of people moving up. So like if one person leaves or we have to get rid of somebody, then we'll have the next person on the list. So definitely hit us up in Discord. That's DBN5 for our main clan, DBN3 for our sister clan, DBN7 for our new clan. If you guys want to kind of join the DirtBag Nation. So guys, appreciate it. Good luck, and we will see you in another video soon.